Nation!
Welcome back.
We're here. We're here. Well, not all of us are here. We'll kindly excuse Christian.
Christian is at a concert at the complex. I don't know what concert it is, but from his Instagram story, it looked like a good concert. So very jealous. Hopefully
You're
Christian is having.
jealous?
It looked like a good concert.
Meh. Maybe because I'm
So
not a concert goer. So
so hope Christian is having a good time tonight. Miss him on here, but
oh, shut up. You're being all sappy and stuff. Anyways, we have a lot of soccer to talk about because a lot of soccer has happened. And I don't want to cut you off too much, Marcos, but we do have a lot, don't we? We had decision day that happened, which was nuts. We had a playoff game already happened yesterday. A playoff game happening right now. We have a couple bits of news, league news. We want to get into a little bit about our qualifications for Champions Cup. We're going to talk about the playoffs because we know a lot of you have filled out brackets, which you have until I think Friday, right before the Miami game, right?
It showed one day. What's today? Yeah. You have until the Miami game. That's right, because today's Wednesday.
So you have until Friday, the Miami game, in
if
order
you
to
guys
join
have
us.
not already, we'll put a plug at the very end. But if you haven't already, fill out a bracket. Come join our bracket challenge because you get bragging rights, and everybody wants bragging rights. So
we all know that Marcos loves brackets, and so far you've had a lot of bad luck.
I've had terrible bad luck. So if you want to win and beat me, there, come join us.
Perfect. So, but before all of it, as we've been doing recently, we're going to answer some of your guys' questions because you know what? I'm actually starting to like this segment a lot because
absolutely.
These questions actually kind of entertain me.
Sometimes we get repeat questions, which those are fine, but I appreciate these very much. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So first question we have, will Chicho finally score in the next game?
No.
I've been asking myself this question over and over and over since we're over 100 days, right?
No, we're like almost into 110, I think. If I'm not,
Christian had the tracker for us, but will Chicho score in the next game? No, I thought it was going to be against Vancouver. Honestly,
we all wanted it to be against Vancouver. In fact, we didn't even mention it last episode because we thought that's what was the bad luck. We're like, we won't mention it at all. In fact, we hope that he scores.
No, do I think he's going to score next game? No, we're going to get into it more when we talk about Minnesota because if you look at the weather come Tuesday, there's a slight chance of snow/rain. So we've seen how Chicho does in those kind of situations. So,
I don't know.
Oh well, he did score in a snow game against LAFC already this season. But
that's what I'm saying. So
yeah, but no.
You don't think so? Well, no. I don't think so either. So it's not that I've lost complete faith in Chicho. In fact, let's go to the next question. I think we're going, well, not the next, but we're going to hit like this Chicho spurt right now. Let's talk about Chicho.
Let's get into the next one really quick. Who is a past RSL player who would be starting right now? There's so many good ones to choose from. You go down the list from Christ to Javi to Olave to Borchers.
Who'd be starting right now in their prime?
Yeah, obviously in their prime that we need right now at this second.
Sabo.
I was gonna say Sabo or Javi.
No, Javi. No, we have a good midfield.
Actually, no, I take that back. I'm gonna go Olave because right now we see how much we're struggling with our center backs because Quinton just got injured last game, Vera with his suspension. So I'm gonna go with Olave.
Well, then if we're gonna go along those lines, maybe Beltran. We need a right back.
Yeah. So if we're talking in their prime, who's gonna help us in the playoffs first game? I'm gonna go Olave in the prime.
Yeah, I'm not even going to talk about playoffs, just overall. Who would we need? I would take Tony Beltran. Why not? Who would you guys take? That'd be a really good question for everyone. One player, only one player from the past. Who would you take and put it on?
I know maybe some RSL fans would probably say would say Ramondo because they were like, oh, McMath isn't consistent at times. So,
yeah.
you win some, you lose some. So
it's not like I'm anti Ramondo, but it's just like Man, the keeper position is just there for me. I don't know.
Yeah. So it's a good one. Thanks for that one. Next question. What do you need to sacrifice in order for Chicho to get a goal? Does he start?
What do we need to sacrifice? Oh,
A
I
kid?
mean, no, Piglet. I don't know. I don't know what do we what do we need to sacrifice? I got
Um,
nothing. It.
yeah.
I don't think it's. I mean, I know this is probably a slightly joking question too. So,
Yeah.
yes, we get it. It's a joking question, but what needs to happen? I don't know. I think it's a him. It's a him thing. In fact, he said it's a him thing. I think.
Yeah, and
I want to say.
yesterday I was listening. Luna was talking with on ESPN 700, and I think Spence had that same exact question to Luna. What needs to change? Why hasn't Chicho scored? He's like, it's not that Chicho doesn't want to score. It's just he's more helping this offense in other ways. So,
I
like,
mean,
man,
I wish I could take that luxury and be like, I don't need to score.
I
I'm gonna
don't
help everyone
I don't
else.
need to.
What the heck? It's like some superpower. It's like boom, goal. No, it's not.
I'm gonna take a step back, and Luna, it's now your turn. I'm passing the baton to you this go around.
What baloney? That sounds funny. But does he start in your next game? I'm gonna hold off on that one. Keep listening to this episode. We're gonna talk about it. But I think
Next
yes.
next question, more Chicho related, of course. Do you think Chicho would have had a bigger impact if he hadn't been suspended?
Not,
We've talked about this in past episodes. I think absolutely, absolutely. The suspension slash injury, all of that was a downfall for him. That kind of lost his confidence, lost his momentum, and obviously he was scoring a goal a game prior to everything happening at Portland, and has not been the same ever since.
not. I think we're just beating a dead horse with this one at this point. I mean, obviously he would have had a bigger impact if he hadn't been suspended.
Yeah,
I mean,
he finishing 6 goals behind Benteke. That just shows you.
finishing 6 goals behind Benteke and you haven't scored in the past 110-ish days.
Yeah,
That tells you something. That means in the past 16 games, or now how many games was that since? I don't know, something like that. It's some ridiculous number. If you haven't scored in that many games and you're only 6 goals behind the leading goal scorer, that means that if you were on your game, obviously you would have had a bigger impact with the team. You would have broken the team record. You would have had golden boot for the league naturally. So
yeah, absolutely. Um, I'm just scrolling through these other questions that we got here. So this one, I like this one a lot. So Miami RSL final question mark end of end of the season, just as we started at the beginning of the season, but with a W.
that is a really cool conspiracy theory. In fact, I would actually not only um, like this.
Would we go back out to Miami?
Uh, I don't know. That that
That
that'd be that'd be my kids' Christmas money going out the window.
no, but that
But
would actually that'd be kind of funny. So
yeah, I mean, I'm down with this conspiracy theory. I'm totally down because that'd just be romantic at this point to start off and end this year's season with RSL Miami.
yeah, anything is possible. We'll get into it more when we break down our brackets, but like we saw last year, anything is possible when it comes to playoffs. An 8 seed could beat a 1 seed, 7 can beat a 2, so expect the unexpected.
You talk a lot about 8 beating a 1. You're like obsessed with Sporting KC beating St. Louis from last year.
Because
It,
nobody expected that. Nobody expected that because
it's kind of weird.
KC was so bad going into the playoffs. I think they just
And they're
snuck right
worse
in.
this year. So
They're worse this year. So, but yes, I would definitely love to see that final. But is that my final? Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
oh.
So this next one is a 3-part question. So
It's a 3 message one because it was that long.
Is that long? So here we go. I think Luna and Diogo have a very similar vision and field IQ, so it's fun to see them play. Please hold. Together. They like to see them play together. Number one, do you agree? Is it worth playing Luna on the right? Because we saw him obviously playing on the right for the Vancouver game. Or is he too thrown off? And then the last one, how much do we also love Dominic?
I would have loved to take that one at a time. So
Okay,
let's
so
take one at a
first
time.
first question, do you agree with the Luna and Diogo having a very similar vision?
Um, I have part of me that wants to say no, only because Luna, he has vision, and it's great. It's great vision. I can see what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
Diogo, I'm still trying to figure out what he's seeing, what he's looking at, because a lot of his stuff is not forward a lot of the time. And I know that soccer you don't always have to play forward. You can play backside, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm having a hard time grabbing his rhythm because I can tell that Luna wants to go forward all the time, and he wants to do the give and goes. He sees stuff that like he sees stuff that would get him closer to a goal. Whereas Diogo, I'm not seeing it. I see that he likes to create just more space. So if he can put a ball into space, like switch the field to a wide winger, he'll do that instead of trying to thread a needle on a pass. I don't know.
Yeah, there's some parts when I watch the games, I'm like, yeah, they're very similar players, but I see Luna, as we saw, obviously scoring that goal against Vancouver, one who he sees that we're down in a game, he reacts. He reacts and he takes chances going to that San Jose game, going into the Vancouver game, and he has a chip on his shoulder. Whereas not Dominic, excuse me, Diogo. Diogo is more of the I need to find the guys, need to set them up. So yeah, they're very very similar in some ways, very different. The second part of that question, is it worth playing Luna on that right?
Um, I'm gonna say no, only because of this. I didn't see Luna. I mean, I also had a different kind of game than everyone else. I wasn't just watching. I was dealing with like 500,000 issues too. But um, Luna had more opportunities and how do you say this? Shown
But what's
back to
interesting,
his.
what's interesting is when he scored his goal, he came from the left side,
That's
not the
what.
right
Well,
side.
that's what I was gonna say. He
Yeah.
he he shined the most when he was on the left side, which
Yep.
was after both Crooks and Diogo got subbed off in the 66th minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think we see a better Luna on the left side. Period. I don't know if it throws him off, but it's not his comfortable side because of the same reason that Sava played better on the left wing is because when you cut in with your dominant foot, which is your right foot, and Luna and Sava have the same exact shot. It's you cut in and whip it to the far corner. We just saw it, so
Exactly.
that's what I'm
Exactly.
saying.
When the game started against against Vancouver, Christian and I both leaned over each other. We're like, why is Luna playing on the right? He's never really played over there. So
I
is it
wish they would have played this earlier in the season, like
no,
two or
yeah,
three,
just
4 games ago.
to
Like
to,
get
te-
this.
to test it out to see if it's actually worth it. But I think they probably did it this way because, like we know, Dominic he came off the bench to maybe see if Luna's comfortable on that side. But I think moving into the playoffs, Luna should stay on that left, have Dominic be on that right because once Dominic came to that game, wow, was he much needed.
Well, there we go. Part three of this question. How much do we love him? Um,
Whew!
Dominic brought fire.
He
Like,
brought fire, energy, speed.
actually, let me say this. Better yet, he brought gasoline to a fire because when he came in, within the first like minute or two, he was already getting into it with um what's his name? Adekubi.
Mhm. It seemed like he brought the same energy level mentality that he was playing with when he was over with Poland. It's like man, he whole another level. I love it. I love it. So people are sad, upset that Gomez is gone. Obviously, I'm not. Like, yes, Gomez brought stuff to this team, but Dominic is filling in that missing piece slowly, game by game. Obviously, he hasn't really scored or assisted as Gomez was, obviously. But give it time. Give it time, people.
I
Like,
think this.
with playoffs, it's gonna give him this confidence.
I think that Gomez was, I think, in my opinion, too scrawny to be able to battle off people. Um, Dominic is a great player. He's small, like short,
Mm-hmm.
but he bodies, and even if he gets pushed down, he fights. Whereas
Yeah.
when you saw Gomez get pushed around, it was almost like he fell down and kind of like bleh. So I have a lot more I have a lot more hope, and I'm looking forward to a lot more of Dominic.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. He is a skillful young player. So you gotta love it. You got to love that kind of player.
Oh yes. Bring on the next ones. Or are we done?
That was it. That was it.
Well, we don't. We're not going to do. Is there one or two more or no?
There was one more, but we'll save that one for later.
Oh, you want to do like that one last?
Oh, you want to
I was
save that
gonna.
one? You want to do it now, or want to
I was
save it
gonna.
for later?
I was gonna say now. Let's just do.
Okay,
Let's do all the
let's.
questions now.
Okay, last question. Here we go. Once and for all, we need to know: braided Chicho or slicked back Chicho?
Um, I'm gonna say just because of looks.
I was like, are we going looks or we're going playing style? Which one are we going off of?
Well, I don't know how he was with either one, so I'm just gonna go with looks, and I prefer slick back.
Yeah, slick back is the look that gave him the 17 goals. So I'm gonna go slick back
Really, he got.
because I don't know if he ever did have. You guys let me know because I don't know if he ever scored as many goals with the braided look. I think most of his goals came from the slick back look. So,
Yeah, I'm not gonna get too serious into it,
but
but I do prefer slick back just because when he heads, it like flicks forward and it looks cool.
absolutely, absolutely.
All right, so thanks for all your questions. That we really do enjoy them. So, and if we miss one of your questions, we apologize. We're just scrolling. So keep those questions coming for next episode. Now,
Absolutely.
next thing we want to talk about. News came out that there might be there's a possibility that it won't happen, but there are talks that there might be a schedule change in the MLS. You don't like it?
Don't like it. Don't
I,
like it whatsoever.
I have a feeling we're gonna get pretty deep into this, but let's hurry and talk about this because this is I think a very
So
hot point.
so it would be 2026. It would be a couple months after the World Cup. It would be fall to spring. As we know, that's the same schedule as the rest of the world. England, Italy, France, you name it. The reason I don't like it is because right now, as it stands, RSL and many the other places that have snow, we have what 1 to 2 snow games. If we are to transition to that fall to spring, we'd have a lot more snow games. RSL would get very used to that orange ball. It'd be our best friend. So,
I think people are over exaggerating
you think
because
so?
because I totally understand people are saying, well, there's going to be more snow games, there's going to be more cold games, whatever. I understand. But if all this talk of we need to be in sync with the rest of the world for international breaks, because that's the hugest complaint is we don't have the same international breaks because we don't have the same season as the majority of the world.
Well, and then think of the transfer window. We'd be more in sync with the transfer window as well.
Exactly. So I totally understand the weather thing. I totally understand. It's a big deal too
Yeah.
because
Mm-hmm.
I mean from November to February we are it's snow or
Well,
it's
oh,
freezing cold.
oh yeah, the U.S. has so many different weather. We have California always sunny, then you go all the way to New York, Montreal, where it could be a blizzard one week. So that's where I'm just like it would be nice, ideal to be on the same schedule as the rest of the world, transfer window, international, all that stuff. But weather, I'm not for it.
I totally get it, but I think weather can be handled in a certain way. I think there's obviously going to be a lot of weather tarps going to be put over these fields, especially right before a game. A lot of weather tarps, a lot of checking or regulating if it's too cold. Like if we get, well, actually, I don't know because there's leagues up in the the Norwegians probably playing like 15 below and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think that weather is down on the list for me in terms of reasons why we shouldn't. Um, I think there's more reasons why we should than we shouldn't.
Yeah,
Especially because of, like I said, international breaks. You said transfer windows. We'd be more in sync with the rest of the world. And I think all that would be left in order to be more in sync with the world would be pro rel at that point. Also, think of this. I was thinking about this. Mexico, I think, does this. They do apertura
yep,
and clausura.
yep.
We could do the same. August to November, break for December and January, come back February to
Ooh,
May,
now you're talking. Now you're
and break
talking.
for June and July.
That I approve of. I approve of that. So that would not be a bad idea whatsoever. So yeah, yeah. But
I mean,
there's still a lot of talks. They need to test out this idea, see if it's worth it. So yeah,
I
because
mean, I'm
who
just
knows by
saying.
2026 how many teams we have. Right now, come next year, we're gonna have 30 teams. So
Yeah, and 30 teams, I think, is way too many for one. But I think we could make it maybe break it down into 15, 14, or how many games would it be? 14 games
yeah,
per apertura, clausura. How would you even call that? And how about this? This is how Argentina used to do it. They'd have a apertura, so they have a first half of the season.
yeah.
They'd have a first half of the season champion,
Hmm.
and then they have a second half of the season champion, and then those two champions would play to be overall champions.
That's a good idea. That's a really good idea.
Or even better, watch this.
What?
So we still have East and West.
Correct.
We take the top two from each season, and we do a Western Conference final between the champions of the two different Western Conference finals. And if it's the same team, you bring the second place, and then the same thing with the East. And then they have an MLS Cup still. I'm just saying there are solutions.
That's not a bad idea. That is not a bad idea. I like that a lot. But yeah, there's so many different ways, so many different routes they could go with this. I'm
You,
interested to see.
you just don't want it.
I just don't want it.
That's fine. That's fine. You don't need to have it.
No, like if it ends up happening, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting.
So there
But
you go. And another Don Garber idea,
money
supposedly
money
money
grab.
grab. Exactly. All right, more soccer. I hope we can get through all of this. I promise. I hope we can get through all this. So let's go through the results that happened on decision day because there were some results.
Uh,
I don't even
the
know how
Van-
to break this down because
I was checking out the Vancouver game just now. 3-0. Holy Hannah.
oh yeah, there's that game too. So
For any Portland Timbers fans, I'm deeply sorry for your loss.
yeah, it's gonna be a loss. But with decision day, there were games that RSL fans were watching from the Eastern well, one game from the Eastern Conference, which
Thanks
was
a lot, Philly.
the Cincinnati Philly game.
You suck, Philly.
Obviously, Vancouver just scored a fourth as I speak. Um, so and then there was obviously games in the Western Conference. This Vancouver game is absolutely ridiculous. Um, let's I'm just gonna scroll down and I'm gonna tell you the games that I was keeping an eye on and their implications. And you
Hmm.
tell me, I'm pretty sure we might be in the same sync.
Yeah, lay it on me.
Um, DC Charlotte because
Yeah.
DC was occupying a playoff spot.
Yep.
All they
Yep.
had to do was tie.
Yeah. I think if they had Benteke scored 2 goals, both called off with VAR.
Oh.
Yep. And that would have put him at 25 goals. And nope. VAR was like, nope, 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 not so fast.
Not today. And like you mentioned in your tweets, this is the first time since what, 2012, 2013,
13, 13.
that a Golden Boot winner does not make the playoffs.
That's I think I cursed him with saying that last episode.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's payback. The next game I want to quickly talk about, Miami.
New England, you had one job. One job.
They were up 2-0, weren't
They
they?
were up 2-0. Like the worst team in the East beating the number one. I was like, okay, last game of the season, we're gonna get a little bit of an upset. No.
Dude,
There comes Messi. There
I
comes
was
Messi doing Messi stuff, scoring not 2 hat-tricks in a week. 2 hat-tricks in 1 week for Messi.
dude. But other than the Messi hat trick, I was more freaked out that you had said that Suarez was going to get a hat trick.
I did.
That
I
freaked
did.
me out, and that he got two.
Yeah, because
That freaked me
I
out.
saw the starting lineup for Miami, and I was like, okay, Messi's on the bench. This is going to be an easy pickings for a hat trick for Suarez. I was close. I was close on that call.
You were close. Next game, Orlando City, Atlanta. This one was huge.
Nobody expected this one. I Orlando playing at home, tough environment, but Atlanta, who's been a scrappy team ever since they've lost Yakamakis, Almada, they somehow clawed their way for that away victory to sneak in.
And it was Claude because Orlando City tied it, which would have knocked Atlanta out of the playoffs. They tied it in the 89th minute, but got called back by VAR.
Exactly. Yeah.
That was nuts.
Yeah.
Next result, obviously Philly, Cincy. We needed Cincy to drop points, and they did not drop points.
Negatory.
Which that was pretty tough. Okay, Western Conference was absolutely out of this world.
I think the West on Saturday was probably the East. East was just a chill.
East was all right.
East was all right, but the West was a whole nother level. Oh my gosh. The starting when we're scrolling down these games, Austin, Colorado. Holy cow. Colorado, what is going on? What is going on with Colorado at this moment? Like
that's what surprised me. Probably not the most, but it was surprising to see that Colorado lost this game because they were up 2-1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then 2 late goals by Austin took away those points from Colorado, and Colorado dropped in the standings.
Yeah. So Colorado dropped all the way down to 7th.
That's crazy. Next game, don't care.
We call that the toilet bowl.
Yeah, that was Dallas and Sporting. That was dumb. But Houston Galaxy, that was another one.
This, in my opinion, was the game of the night.
Really?
This was the best game on decision day, hands down.
I don't know. Ours was pretty good.
Ours was good, but this one was the cherry on top. This is the game that helped us in order to be able to play Minnesota.
That's right, because we would have played. Would we
Seattle.
have played? We would have played
it's Houston.
Oh yeah, because Houston was down to 6th at that point. That's right.
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
Thanks to Houston getting that game-winning goal, we then got the opportunity and chance to play Minnesota.
And the game-winning goal was scored by a former Galaxy player.
Sturz, yep.
That was
Daniel
crazy.
Sturz.
That was by the way, 11th minute of stoppage time.
And the referee gave 7 minutes. So they were 4 minutes over. And all the Galaxy fans, the players, coaching staff, they were pissed because they're 4 minutes over.
But I mean, they also got a penalty in the 95th minute. So it's like obviously they have to add time. It's like they're not gonna not add time for the penalty.
Exactly.
So, all right.
And then LAFC San Jose, that was as expected, but we knew that LAFC was going to win. But the way they did it was very scrappy because San Jose scored first.
Exactly.
But with that victory, LAFC secured that.
That was nuts.
But they barely at the moment they were second place, and all their fans were freaking out. All the LAFC players were watching on their phones, but then Houston scores the game-winning goal. The whole first place, which upsets me. I would have not cool at all. And then we scroll down, we see Minnesota, St. Louis.
Minnesota actually
as
scoring that many goals actually has me worried. So that's something we need to talk about. But
with their victory that secured them with the 6th spot. So, and then we get to us. We'll get more into that game in a second. And then we get to Cascadia Cup and the last one, Seattle and Portland. And thanks to that, thank you so much to the Portland Timbers. We will send you a gift in the mail maybe later. But
seriously,
yeah, we owe Portland so much right now. With that, we got the 3rd seed, and most importantly, the best prize of all. After 8 years and counting, we're back to the CONCACAF Champions Cup.
yeah.
Woo!
So CCC first, we'll call it international tournament that we're getting back to since 8 years ago.
Yep, 2016. Yeah.
What did we play? Who did we play?
Who did we play? Was that the year of Saprissa and all that? I would have to go back and look at 2016, but it has been quite some time, and it's amazing. It's amazing for the accomplishment that RSL deserves it, breaking so many records this year. They posted on their Instagram. We can scroll through if you want, but obviously they broke their points record, 59 points. They goals record this season, I think 65 something goals.
Oh yeah.
Ojeda had the most minutes this season. He had the 3rd most minutes in defensive mids. So very, very impressed. All the records being broken this season. Justin Glad having 20,000 something minutes
in his career or with
in
RSL.
His career.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff being broken. I mean, and the qualification is absolutely deserving. I mean, the fact that we can't even remember who we even played last time we even were in this tournament. First, it goes to show that we didn't research it, but it also goes to show that time when we went into that tournament, we didn't even do that well. It wasn't memorable. Was it with Kassar? Or
yes.
was it with Petke?
One of the two.
Well, duh. Because it was like that transition year or something like that.
So Justin Glad now at 20,907 minutes. That's the 3rd all-time in RSL minutes.
Who's 1 and 2? Like Raimondo and Beckerman?
Correct.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. But with this qualification, we actually you wanted to bring this up. So I'm going to let you have the floor.
Yeah. So obviously with us qualifying, thanks to Portland Timbers, I wish they could be able to do the same right now, but that leaves one door open for one qualification for the CCC. And if you look it up, it's MLS Cup winner. So if any of the teams that have already qualified win MLS Cup, who's the next person? It would possibly be the Seattle Sounders.
So I guess I didn't read over that part. So that's one to keep an eye on or read over again, because if the winner of MLS Cup already has qualified through a different mean,
LAFC, Miami, RSL, Columbus, and any of those sorts of teams, they've obviously already qualified. So,
who's next in line?
And then if it's like the 2nd place, they have already qualified. Then only thing that would make sense is it's Seattle.
But would it make sense? Because for me, it would make sense to have 2nd place of MLS Cup go.
But what if I'm just saying? What if both? What if it's LAFC Columbus?
This is getting really sticky.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think someone's going to get CONCACAF here. Someone's going to qualify via CONCACAF. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not educated in this, but
what makes me the most frustrated, because I looked this up, the MLS Cup winner. So if I'm thinking this right, possibly being Seattle, they automatically get a bid to the round of 16. Them and Columbus get that bid to the round of 16.
That's really weird.
Yeah. So obviously Columbus, because they won Leagues Cup, and then the MLS Cup winner. So, and then my point is, should RSL have just gone for that 4th spot so we could have gotten that round of 16?
No, that's risking too much. Also, that's sorry to say that's not a winner mentality, brother. Because you're risking a lot.
Yeah, because then you're relying on other teams and whatnot. But I'm glad that we qualified the way that we did. But yeah, just looking at the at all of that, and just it makes me kind of frustrated. Like RSL did the work; they proved that they need to be there. But the fact that Seattle Sounders that they can qualify, but not just qualify, make it to the round of 16, it's like not fair. Not fair for the rest of us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just gonna leave it at we qualified. Period, and we're in it, and that means next year is gonna get busy. We'll break out. In fact, we'll talk about this during the off season.
That's going to be a lot of chances to raise trophies because we're going to have CONCACAF, Leagues Cup, Open Cup, MLS Cup, Rocky Mountain Cup.
That's a lot of cups that we
That's
need
a
to. We need to start lifting cups.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a fun 2025 next season. So everybody get ready because the tournament starts before the regular season. So it's looking like about beginning of February.
Yeah, it's going to be our preseason,
The
basically.
the draw takes place December 20th. So mark that on your calendars.
December 20th. I thought it was the 13th.
Oh, sorry, December 13th. Thank you. It's a couple days after MLS Cup, so December
A week.
13th. Mark that on your calendars so we can find out who RSL will play in that home and away for that first game.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. All right, now this is gonna be a lot more fun. Let's because we can never have enough time. So let's dive into our brackets because our brackets might look similar to yours, might not, but we're gonna share the screen here because that's what we did last year, and we're gonna do that this time. Let me share my screen. I'm gonna share this screen. Here we go. Share. Can you see it?
I can see it.
All right.
Thank you to everybody that has filled out a bracket. If you have not, once again, come join.
It's true.
Oh, you're on the wrong one.
There we go. I'm on the right
There
one.
we go. There. Click on the right group. There you go.
Yeah, there's a lot of us here. So we're gonna break down me and Marcus's bracket because not gonna lie, Christian, can't see your bracket. Also, don't know if you filled out a bracket. So if you didn't fill one out, calling you out right now. All right. I'm just gonna lay it all out here for everyone to see. Boom. In fact, this is a lot easier than Leagues Cup, is it not?
It's facts. It's facts.
Facts. Here we go. So we have here's my bracket. I'm gonna go with the West first. I got LAFC winning all the way to the conference finals. I have Seattle beating Houston, RSL beating Minnesota, LA beating Colorado, LAFC beating Seattle, RSL with an upset beating LA. I think we can do it. I really do. East, on the other hand, I didn't know what to say. Not gonna lie, East, because we don't pay attention that much to the East, right?
All I can say is it's an easy cakewalk for Miami to make it to at least the Eastern Conference finals.
I don't know. Don't be fooled. How about this? I have Miami. I have Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
NYCFC beating Cincy.
Mm-hmm.
And Columbus beating New York. I then have Columbus beating NYCFC and obviously Miami beating Charlotte. The Charlotte over Orlando is my upset, I think. And obviously with Miami and Columbus being in the conference finals. Now, from here, I'm going to say it's Miami RSL. I'm one of those guys. Why you laugh? What, you don't have faith?
Very, 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 very limited, but it's okay. It's okay.
That's why I said I believe in that conspiracy theory from that question.
We're very equal on our Eastern Conference. I'm about spitting image to you, so
fine. Let's look at yours. All right, so
for mine, I have LAFC beating Portland. No surprise there. But my big upset, I guess not really big, I have Houston beating Seattle. Seattle struggled on decision day. Houston has looked good, especially against Galaxy. So and we know, of course, how good Houston is. RSL beating Minnesota, LA beating Colorado. Then second round, Houston's gonna beat LAFC.
That's crazy. You're gonna look like Sasha Kljestan right now.
No, I believe that they're gonna do it. RSL beats the Galaxy. Then we meet a familiar foe, and the Dynamo.
Yeah.
RSL is gonna beat the Dynamo because we're gonna have home field advantage. We go over to the Eastern Conference. Miami is going to beat Atlanta because now it's Atlanta. Charlotte beating Orlando because Charlotte has looked good as of recently. NYC, this is my other cup set, is going to beat Cincinnati.
Okay.
Cincinnati has not looked good at all as of recently. NYC, good. Columbus is going to beat Red Bulls. Sorry, we could have had either an Ohio derby or we could have had a New York derby, but we're not going to get either.
Neither.
Columbus beat NYC. Miami beat Charlotte, and same as you, but this time we're going to have Columbus beating Miami. So we're going to have Columbus beating RSL in the MLS Cup.
What the heck? What's wrong with you? Like, why?
Columbus is good. Columbus is a good team. They got a good coach. They got an amazing striker. So
I think here's my hope. I hope that Miami gets to the final with us, because I think Miami is more sporadic in the way that I don't think that they're as organized as Columbus. Columbus, I fear more than Miami. That's
okay.
That's what I think.
So last thing on these brackets.
Yeah.
We'll start with the West and then we'll go to the East. Who is you can include RSL, but who is your Cinderella in the Western Conference?
Yeah, Cinderella for me is gonna have to be RSL. RSL's the Cinderella. Like,
yeah,
they would be the people that I would surprise a lot of people, and I think they could do it. They have the potential. Let's see if they can actually get there.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna stick with Houston. I'm thinking Houston is gonna make some noise.
Why?
Yeah, they're looking scary good. So, Eastern Conference, Cinderella.
It would have to be Charlotte. Charlotte would be the Cinderella.
I'm gonna go NYC. I think they're clicking at the right time. It sucks that they have to play against Cincinnati with playing against Lucho Acosta and company, but I think they can do it. And it's gonna suck next round if they have to play Columbus, but I believe in them. I think, and we know what happened with Columbus and Red Bulls. They played each other on decision day. Red Bulls almost beat Columbus, so that could possibly be a cup set right there too.
It could be. There's just so many possibilities with these brackets.
But with the path that Miami has to take, do you see anybody right there? Obviously, they play Atlanta, Orlando, or Charlotte. Do you see any of those three teams right there beating Miami?
Like I said, Miami, I think, is the weakest out of the top teams. My opinion. I mean, because if you take out Messi, Suarez is kind of like meh, and I know he just put 2 on New England,
yeah,
but it is New England. And
exactly.
I don't know. I find their play very sporadic, and so that's why I think they're the weakest out of the top teams. And so I think any team could beat them, but that's soccer. Any team could beat any team.
Yeah, that's exactly right. When I was filling out my bracket, the one game that I was going back and forth, you'll be surprised. LA Galaxy, Colorado.
Really?
Because we know how good Colorado was to start the season. They were looking red hot. Mihalovic. But speaking of which, Mihalovic is out. Injury. So he's not going to be able to play against Galaxy. So that made me switch right away because I'm like, yep, Galaxy playing at home at Dignity. Only team in all of MLS, I believe. You guys can quote me if I'm wrong. Undefeated at home this season.
Oh.
So
interesting. I might have to check that out.
Yeah, so Galaxy will be a very dangerous team if they make it to the second round.
All right. I see it. I see it. All right. Now that we've gotten our brackets out of the way, and also please challenge us because we'd love to see your guys' brackets.
Please prove to Alan that he's wrong, that Miami will not make it to the final.
We have to make this happen. We have to make this RSL Houston, RSL Inter Miami.
Alan wants RSL Houston too.
You shut it. I don't want it. Okay, with all that, let's get into this first game of the playoffs against Minnesota. I think this is going to get hot. only because of the game or the last game we played against them.
It will. And with this first leg one, we're not going to have Vera. Vera has one more game left of suspension, unfortunately. We're not going to have Quinton because Quinton picked up his early injury against Vancouver, which is so unfortunate, which can only mean one thing. We're going to have the same back line that we finished up against Vancouver. So we're going to have Brown and Glad pulling those strings on that center back.
Which, by the way, I know we didn't break down the Vancouver game because really that's well, it is what it is. It happened. But I think putting actually, I think Brown might be playing center back because Quinton is out with a muscle injury. I don't know if he's going to be out. I don't know. Don't quote me.
From what I've heard, it might obviously not be right, but I've heard a couple of weeks. I've heard a couple of weeks for Quinton. You don't want to rush anything when it comes to a muscle injury at all. So the only thing that would make sense is a Glad Brown back line. So Catrani's on that left.
But
Then who?
but this is where I was getting at.
Mm-hmm.
Putting Brown in the middle was really good.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm not gonna say like the greatest, but
No.
it fit really well.
The only thing that kind of sucked,
and moving Anelli back to right back was great
because that's where he started at the very beginning of the season when we played against Miami. And then
I'm totally down for it.
Over the season, he transitioned into that defensive mid. So I would be totally down for that. The only downside that sucks with having Brown on that center back role is height. When it comes to set pieces, that corners, the free kicks, he's outsized against players like Lloyd, against players like if they put Pookie in there as well. So
yeah, but here's what I don't see a strong Minnesota attack. I really don't. The two goals that they had with Jung, they weren't. He's not like their leading goal scorer. But granted, he has scored 6.
He is their super sub. He is their Anderson Hooley off the bench.
He is now that might be a little worrying, except for the fact that he plays right wing, which means that he's going to be meeting up with Catranis.
Mm-hmm.
I that part I'm not fearful for. What I am fearful for is probably a Dotson, a Yaboa, Lloyd, however you pronounce it. Those guys can cause a lot of issues.
Yeah.
And so
yeah.
I don't know.
Their midfield is very much of a worrisome, but I think the fact that we just played them a couple of weeks ago, obviously it was a 0-0 draw, makes us know what to expect. But playoffs is a different animal.
It really is, because even with their the people that they brought off the bench, like Fragapane is good. Oluwasi, oh my gosh, Oluwasi, whatever how you pronounce it.
Correct.
He also had another assist. Yaboa had an assist. Lloyd had an assist. All in this last game against St. Louis. Granted, obviously St. Louis is not a good team.
But since Dominic came off the bench against Vancouver, we can only expect that Dominic will start for this one. Most likely start on that right mid. I'm only assuming Luna will probably most likely go back to that left. So do we think that Diogo gets that start in that 10, or is it Crooks?
So that's what's going to throw me off because I don't know. I don't know if I think Crooks gets the bench. I think Diogo starts.
Because Pablo did say last week that the lineup going against Vancouver is the lineup that we'll see in the playoffs. But do you really feel the most comfortable having Crooks start at playoffs?
Well, I'm checking out our lineup last time we played them. Last time we played them was Crooks had the better game. Crooks had a 7.3 fought bomb rating, and Diogo had a 6.7. And Diogo got subbed off in the 61st minute, where Crooks played all the way until the 84th. And Dominic was on the right wing. So I think we see a Luna left wing, Crooks probably in the middle, and Dominic on the right.
Yeah, yeah. As I'm looking at that, that makes the most sense. And funny enough, in that game, I think this was the one of the games where Quinton did start on that outside back.
Yeah, and so if we're gonna be out him, we're out Vera because of this game.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yep.
that's also, if you look at it, they played a 5 back against us.
Yeah.
They went back like because I
Do
think
we do we assume that they're going to probably do the same thing?
they saw that it worked.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think if they saw that it worked, I think that they're gonna probably go at it again. To be honest,
Yeah. 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 Most definitely. So I'm not too worried at all. Like if it was any other matchup in the playoffs, if it was a Colorado, if it was a Houston, I'd be a little bit more worried. But I think it's the fact that we're having this confidence at a right time. We're on a 6 game unbeaten streak, so we're looking good. We're looking good at just the right time. Obviously, it'd be ideal if we had Quinton and Vera available for this game, but
it would also be ideal if Chicho would score a goal. But I mean, if you're gonna talk about ideal stuff, I mean, of course things would be ideal. But I think with the people that we have, I think we can still cause a lot of damage, and especially if we're going to be playing first at home, we better win this.
most
And
definitely, most
I think
definitely.
if I'm not wrong, if I remember right, if it ends in a tie, we go to PKs, right?
That is how the Atlanta Montreal games went. So you're not wrong.
And we haven't beat them. We've only tied them all season. So do we start preparing for PKs? I don't know.
Oh man, this is how I wish we had Vera because we know how Vera can blast PKs. Oh man, oh
It's
man.
true. It's true. Um, I think we can't break this down anymore. I'm just super excited for this. So
Playoffs are back. Playoffs are here, everybody.
with
It sucks.
that,
It sucks that it is on a Tuesday. It most definitely sucks that it's on a Tuesday. I think I want to say selection committee, they hate us. They gave favoritism to Miami and the LA teams for them getting hosting on the weekend, whereas everybody else has to host on the weekdays.
let's talk about that next episode after these first round games because
Yeah.
we'll see how everything ends up after the first round. But with that, let's do some prediction time.
It is prediction time. Absolutely. So, first game of the playoffs against Minnesota here at home. Missing two vital pieces in Quinton and Vera, but no need to worry, RSL fans. We're going to get that scrappy 1-0 win.
Excellent. Excellent. I'm going to throw it over to Christian. Christian, let us know. Other way. Other way, brother. So with this game being first time we're hosting home field advantage in a long time. This is good. I hope even besides the rain, besides the fact that it's a weekday, I think we're gonna have a lot of fans there to support because heck, like I said, it's first time we have home field advantage in a long time. So
Yeah.
this is gonna be for me a 3-1 victory for RSL.
Ooh, dang, drop the hammer there. Woo.
Let's do it. Let's do it. We're
Like
gonna get this, and we're gonna put the nail in the coffin early with
how I wish that there was goal differential. Like but no. If you score 3 goals, it doesn't matter because the next game a team could win 4-0. So
it's true. It's true. But if we gotta set the tone early in this series, that way when we go back to their place, there's no question.
very nice. So all you RSL fans who are coming out on Tuesday, make sure you dress warm. It looks like on the forecast it is expected to rain/snow. So come bundled up for a cold, chilly playoff night.
Yes, yes. Please come. Please come because we
Yes, I
need it.
understand it. Yes, I understand it's a school night. Yes, I understand you have work the next day, but nothing's better than a playoff atmosphere at America First Field.
We really need it. We really do need this. So let's send them off. Marcos.
You guys, you know what to do. head over to Twitter, head over to Instagram,
Do it.
follow us at the RSL Bros, and listen to us wherever you catch your podcast on Spotify or Apple, and watch us on the go on YouTube.
Absolutely, absolutely. And don't forget, tune in the next episode. We're going to recap the first game. We're going to talk about everyone else's first games, and we're going to see what's going to be going down for game 2. So
Christian will be back, everybody. Don't worry.
It's true. It's true. Christian will be back. So with that, hasta
Ciao.
luego. Bye.